a special meeting to order. Let's see, regular, Kevin, why don't you, no, you're a regular member, so we don't need to appoint anybody. We're in good shape. Before us, we have the.
Excuse me, I think you need to appoint me.
I need to appoint you for FERC. I apologize. Sorry, Rich.
It's okay.
I forgot my cheat sheet at home. Before us, the only order of business will be the discussion of a request of an extension for Murphy Turn subdivision application 13-03. Should I read this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start over in case I missed something. Request for extension for Murphy's Turn subdivision map filing application number 13-03 of Andrew Quirk, P.E. for, I apologize if I make this mistake, Kratzerk Jones and Associates, Inc., agent for Joel and Mary Sevick, owners requesting a subdivision of property located at 46 Hildecrest Drive, map C17, block 404, lot 010, to allow for creation of 5 lots, zone R40, approved May 14th, 2013. And that extension is for filing of the maps, if I remember correctly?
Correct.
Okay. I'm assuming both you gentlemen here are representing either the owner and/or his representative. Is there anything you wish to add to this?
Yes. First of all, thank you so much for having a special meeting in August.
Oh, it's our joy.
As a former member of this commission, I know what a joy it is. I'm Greg Pietzu, for the record. I represent Meehan Development Group. With me tonight is Paul Meehan. He's the principal and owner of that company. Paul's a Farmington Valley guy, grew up in town, in the Valley, lives in Farmington, has done a lot of work here, so he's a local guy. The reason we're here tonight, and by the way, for the record, I handed out a couple of things. The first was a letter signed by the Sevicks, dated July 24th. They're in Idaho through the end of the week, that's why they're not here. They are the owners of the property, and we're the applicants. Typically, as you know, there would be undeveloped land. Usually a developer or a builder will get an option, will come in. It's pretty straightforward. The builder's looking to get to work as soon as he can get his approvals in place. This is a little bit different, as you know, because there's an existing home. Mrs. Sevick has, I think, 2 years left, or a year and a half left as principal where she is. The Sevicks plan on living in this home through the end of the next school year. So they originally had drawn up a contract for the purchase and the sale of the property with a group called Creative Land Subdividers. Ed Ferrigno was here, if you recall, during the public hearing. Ed has since sold his or assigned his interest in that to Mr. Meehan. So that's sort of where we're at. So what'll happen is next July, the Sevicks will sell the property to Mr. Meehan, and Mr. Meehan will go ahead and develop the property. But the unique thing that we have here is that the Sevicks are looking to stay in the home as long as possible. So whereas typically the builders are looking to get going right away, we actually want to put the brakes on things. We have been doing work. For example, I've already drafted the conservation easement. It's been sent over to Hiram. He's gotten comments back from Bob DiCrescenzo. We've made some changes to that. So we're continuing to do the work that needs to be done. But just in order to hold this open, if you will, as long as possible to accommodate the Sevicks, that's the reason for the request. So what I also included was just a quick explanatory letter from myself on behalf of Paul Meehan's company, and just so that you have it, a copy of that contract for the sale of the real estate. This has been recorded on the land records, by the way, as well as the assignment to Meehan Development. So I think it's straightforward. I think there are some unique circumstances that would justify this, and I'm not going to take up any more time. I just hope that you grant the extension.
Thank you very much, sir.
Any questions?
What extension are you looking for?
We are seeking, the statute provides 90 days, and then you can request 2 additional extensions at times of 90 days each. So we are seeking the additional 180 days.
And when was the original 90 days set to expire?
Well, the publication date was May 17th, so you have 90 days from that. So we're talking either
Or 15th?
tomorrow or Thursday. So yeah, we're just in under the wire. And again, the recent transaction, which I guess, substituted Mr. Meehan for Mr. Ferrigno. That's part of the reason why we're here at this late hour. It's not that Mr. Meehan's sort of been sleeping on his rights here. It's just that we weren't really into the deal up until a couple weeks ago.
So is the reason for the extension to allow Mr. Meehan to get his paperwork in order, or is it to extend the amount of time that the Cevics can stay in
Yeah,
the
it's for the
property?
Cevics. It's for the Cevics.
And how, is it a day-for-day extension for them as well, or what's the extension of the approval of the application? What does that do to their longevity at their current?
Well, the moment we file the plans, their 7-acre piece is going to get subdivided into 5 lots, okay? And there's going to be a road there, and there's going to be some bonding requirements they're going to have. So if they're intending to stay on the property until next June or so, this facilitates that for them.
Does it bridge the gap, or does it?
I'm not going to say it's going to entirely bridge. No, I mean, there's going to be certain things that we're going to have to do before they move out anyways, such as, finishing up the survey of the I mean, it's been surveyed, but marking center lines of the road. There's other things that we can do while they're still there, okay? But the 180-day extension facilitates them staying in their home as long as they want to, which will be through like next June.
All set? Bill?
By approving the extension, and so the transaction took place between Creative
Yep.
and Meehan?
Yep.
So then whatever we approve then goes to Creative?
Yeah, actually, it's all for the Cevics benefit, because the Cevics were the applicant, and the Cevics continue to be the homeowner. It's, from my perspective, though, the Cevics don't have a lawyer.
Right.
Okay, this is all very kind of quaint, actually.
Right.
So the Cevics don't have a lawyer, so, basically, I'm assisting with things like, I'm going to meet with Ray Swidsky and go over sediment erosion control bonds. I'm assisting with the conservation easement. Does that answer your question? So the transition was to get me involved. Obviously, I've got some history in the town to be able to get some of these things done. But I was sort of on the sidelines during the public hearing process. You notice I was just watching because, we were negotiating to possibly be part of it, but that hadn't really closed yet.
Any other questions? Rich?
So the maximum extension that the commission could grant is through February 13th of 2014.
And at that point, as Greg said, they'll have to file a map, or it'll expire. So that's their choice at that point.
And that would be, excuse me, Hiram, taking into account the 180 days, assuming that's what we grant.
That's the max, correct? Now, at that point, if Greg knows and the developer knows, just because they file a map, that doesn't mean a bulldozer drives through the house the next day. They obviously have a period of time to complete the subdivision, but it'll allow them to get that started and gives them some time toward that. So whatever deal they work out with the owners is up to them, but at that point in time, the map will have to be filed or it'll expire.
Okay.
Just one more question.
Sure.
The way you interpret the current subdivision regulations and Connecticut General Statute 825, 24?
Yeah.
25. With respect to the extension,
Sure.
do you believe that there are any requirements that an applicant has to meet to ask for an extension?
The statute is silent, so there's no standard. We can request it. I think we've given sufficient reasons, but I don't think the state statute requires that we meet some threshold showing a fact. I understand that local commissions sometimes don't want to set a precedent that every single request is going to be granted, and that's why I tried to sort of present to you guys there's kind of a compelling need here, but I don't think we technically have to show a compelling need, but I think we have.
Yeah, when this original application was submitted, there was some negative reaction of the neighbors.
Right.
And I have no idea how they will react to this, Is it putting off the inevitable to them? Would they rather see the action start sooner than later? I don't know.
My sense, Bill, just typically, my sense would be that the longer it takes to get to the development, probably the happier it would make them. That's my sense. The other thing that I would indicate too is that typically, if they were extremely unhappy, we probably would have had an appeal before this time, and that didn't happen either. So I think between those two things, I think that in this case, we would recommend the approval of the extension as well. Not necessarily in all cases, but I think in this case, it's probably warranted.
Thank you, Hiram.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, discussion, John?
Just for Hiram, so the minutes from May, the motion for the subdivision, then carries through to me and Corp. Is that, I'm just trying to make.
I wouldn't even get it, I would just say the same motion that was approved, along with the same maps that were approved, would be appropriate motion for this point in time. It's still the same owner, still the same applicant, and really, as far as the commission's concerned, doesn't really matter who the developer is at this point in time.
Because to that point, the applicant was really the homeowner.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's what I was
Yep,
asking.
exactly, I'm sorry, I didn't wasn't clear.
Yeah.
And that's why I presented the letter from them. They're the ones who are technically requesting it. It's just I'm helping them out.
Other thoughts, questions, anyone? Someone like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the planning commission approve the request for extension for Murphy's Turn subdivision map filing application number 13-303. Originally approved May 14th, 2013. The approval would be for 2 times 90 days or 180 days extension to the current validity date.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Kevin. Discussion.
Just the only point is that for the clerk, that date is, as Bill just said, February 13th, 2014, Jen.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a
Yes,
second.
I would say, based on the lack of an appeal from the neighbors, they may have had some discontent originally, but maybe they're over that now. I hope we're not prolonging agony for them. I believe that for the benefit of the Sevics, that this is a rational decision that we can make.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Agree.
So I have a motion, second. We've had discussion. Any more discussion, gentlemen? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That kind of doesn't matter because we all voted yes. Can I have a motion for his absence? Is there any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all very much.